Hi, y'all. Welcome to this week's 10-Minute 2-Tip Tuesday. This is going to be, as always, some of the most valuable, power-packed, quick education that you're going to get all week, absolutely free. As always, I'm Amelia Borland. I'm an occupational therapist with Higher Standards Caregiver Training, and I'm here to deliver this high-value information to you today. Before we get started, as always, this is for educational purposes only. If anything that I say reminds you of someone that you work with, someone that you love, maybe even yourself, and makes you think that someone needs to be assessed and treated by a medical professional, then please make sure that you reach out and you get that help, as this is for educational purposes only. Okay, now that that's done with, let's go ahead and jump right in. And sorry, real quick. Obviously today, pre-recorded, I had a conflict at my regular 3 p.m. live time slot here on LinkedIn. It's going to be same for next week, y'all. Next week's going to be pre-recorded too. I just happened to have these couple of weeks where I had conflicting stuff going over my regular 3 p.m. time slot, but I promise it will be there for you next week, the same as it's here for you this week, for your regular 10-Minute 2-Tip Tuesday. So don't miss it, even though it won't be live on those days. Okay, now we'll get started. All right, so first tip, as always, for caregivers. And this one, super foundational, very, very important tip. And this goes back to something that I'm saying constantly to the caregivers that I work with during my live training events, when I'm working with caregiving organizations, if I'm working with family caregivers. And honestly, it's something that is constantly brought up over and over again, even through my on-demand caregiver training courses that I have. And that is that the most important part of you as a caregiver is not your muscles, it's your brain. Okay. And so this tip, that's not the tip. That's just sort of like, it is, that's a fact. That's the truth. Your brain is the most important part of you as a caregiver. The tip has to do with using your brain though. And it's really about planning. The most important part of any transfer, really truly of any care that you're going to provide, is that you think about it beforehand and that you have a plan for how that's going to get done. I want to kind of zero in on a more specific part of that planning process though today. And that is making sure that you have a plan for the return transfer. Now, if that doesn't make any sense, I'm going to explain, so don't worry. So for pretty much any transfer that you do, there are really two parts to it. There's the first part where you're getting someone from their starting location to their ending location, their destination. So this could be as simple, and honestly, probably the most frequent one that we think of is getting from, say, a bed to a wheelchair. So that's actually just one part of the transfer. The second part is when we have to go back from that wheelchair to the bed, right? Because, people aren't going to stay in the place where you originally transferred to them all day in general, whether that's whether that's a wheelchair, whether that's a bedside commode, whether that's a shower chair, it doesn't really matter. The bed to the wheelchair is just kind of a common example. But for any transfer you do, you're going to have to turn around and you're going to have to go back to the place where you started from, more than likely. So you don't just have to plan how you're going to do that original transfer, that first part of the transfer. You need to think ahead about how that return transfer is going to go. Because often, in lots of different scenarios, for lots of different reasons, that return transfer can be substantially more challenging than the first part of the transfer where you were, say, getting the person out of the bed into the wheelchair. Now, there are so many reasons for this. I don't want to go down that whole rabbit hole right here in this forum. It's something that I talk about all the time in live trainings, and we kind of get into nitty gritty with that. But here on 10-minute Two-Tip Tuesday, we only have 10 minutes. So I'm going to keep it a bit more general here. The most important thing, though, about this tip is really thinking about that return transfer, that second part of the transfer, and making sure that it can be done safely. And if it can't be done safely, then we need to rethink either the equipment that we're using. We need to rethink how much assistance we have, where we need to rethink the way that whatever care we're trying to accomplish is being provided. Because ultimately we have to make sure, no matter what we're doing, safety comes first. And it's not just the safety of the person that we're caring for, although obviously that is essential, that is paramount. It's also the safety of you as the caregiver. Your health is just as important as the person that you're caring for. So we need to make sure that transfers are going to be safe for them and that they're going to be safe for you. Because guess what? If it's not safe for one of you, it's actually probably not safe for both of you. So that's your tip for today for caregivers, making sure that you're planning ahead and thinking about how that returning transfer is going to work. All right. Second tip, as always, is for caregiving organizations. And this is a pretty foundational, really essential tip too for caregiving organizations. And honestly, this is something that you could apply to when you're talking to potential new clients. But certainly in this case, caregivers are my peeps. That's what I'm thinking about all the time. So we're going to apply this to how we are thinking about and interacting with and managing relationships with our caregivers today. Okay, so the tip is to set expectations. I mean, I've said it probably on 10-minute Two-Tip Tuesday, but I've said it like 3 times. I say it every day, I think. Most problems can be prevented or solved using good communication. And setting expectations is an essential part of good communication. So often we kind of assume that people just know what we need or want them to do because it's what we would do in a given situation. But the fact is, we all come from different backgrounds. We all have different life experiences. And so we can't necessarily assume that other folks know what we expect them to do. And this can be from everything, making it really clear. What are your expectations for them getting training done, for them attending training events? What are your expectations if they're going to be late for a shift? If they're going to miss a shift? What are your expectations for those things? And just being really, really clear about what you expect from them in those circumstances. The other part of that, though, is really clearly communicating to them what they can expect from you. So this is a two-way relationship, right? It's not just about this. These are the things that I need from you. What your caregivers need is also to know what you are going to do in order to support their ability to meet those expectations. So really, really essential. If it's not something that you are already doing or have a really clear process in place for, definitely worth discussing and figuring that out, because it can make a huge difference in your day-to-day operations. Okay, that's it for me for tips today. I do have a couple of events coming up that I want to announce. Tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, I'm doing a live discussion with Keith Grinig from Home Care Answers. He is absolutely an expert on reimbursement in the home healthcare world. And so he and I are going to do a live discussion all about common pitfalls in documentation that can lead to reduced reimbursement for home healthcare. And we all know, coming from that skilled clinical world, especially how payments have changed over the last few years and continue to change and evolve, we all know how important it is to get our reimbursement right, so that we can continue to do what we want to do, which is serve our patients and serve our clients, right? So if that's something that is of interest to you, if you want to join into this live discussion about common pitfalls in documentation that can lead to you not getting all of the reimbursement that you should get for services provided, then please make sure to reach out and register for that. I'm going to put a registration link with this post, the video post, so you can click on that link. You can register and get all of the joining info for that live discussion on documentation in home care and in-home healthcare and how that relates to reimbursement, so you can start getting your reimbursements maximized. Again, that is at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow. There's a link to register along with this video post. Second thing, for family caregivers, if y'all didn't know, and I don't know how you wouldn't know, if you follow me at least, because it's a big deal. It's a really big deal. November is Family Caregiver Month. So at Higher Standards Caregiver Training, we got to do some cool stuff for all of the family caregivers out there. Whether we're working directly with them or not, we want to serve this incredible, important backbone of our society group of people. So first thing that we're going to be doing is actually a Facebook Live event coming up this Friday at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm going to be going over the 5 essential ingredients for practical skills related to caring for a loved one with dementia. If you are a family caregiver with someone with dementia, if you know someone, if this is just a topic you're interested in and you want to join, then please make sure just reach out and friend me on Facebook. I will go ahead and put my Facebook contact information in this post as well. So you can reach out, friend me, and then you will get an automatic notification when that Facebook Live feed starts on Friday at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. On the other hand, if you want a little bit more instruction than that, you can also reach out. I will send you a registration link so that you can register for that live event, and I'll send you a little bit more information about how to get access to that Facebook Live event for family caregivers. Totally free, as always, of course. Just one way to celebrate and provide support and resources to these amazing people who, like I said, they really are, they're kind of our backbone out there. So we need to say thanks. Okay, that's really all for me now, I promise. All right, y'all, thank you so much for watching. I will be back next week with another pre-recorded 10-minute 2-tip Tuesday full of a couple other valuable tips for you. Thanks so much for watching. Appreciate y'all. Until then, please be healthy, be well, and take care. Bye.